Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the online workshop organized by Skillveda. Skillveda is your partner in skill development, offering a wide range of webinars, offline workshops, short-term courses, and training programs designed to help you unlock your potential and achieve your career goals. We are thrilled to have you join us for this exciting learning journey. A special welcome to our esteemed trainer, Ms. Sutopa Bose, a senior education consultant, teacher trainer with more than 30 years of experience in education sector to share her knowledge and insights. Welcome, Ms. Sutopa Bose.
Thank you so much, Twinkle. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So I'm very excited for this workshop, and I think that everybody is equally excited. So if you're excited, please give me a thumbs up. I want to see a thumbs up on everyone's screen. Okay.
Rajesh Kumar.
Coming in. Great. Very good. So we are already there in the workshop. Fantastic. What about the others? Okay. All right. Great. So, Twinkle ma'am, can we please have the PPT? Okay, so this is a very, very significant, it's a foundation stone, you can say, of the academics of the children in school. And this is the thing that helps them graduate to higher levels as they cross each and every grade and reach the pinnacle. Okay, so let's quickly go over the objectives of the session. So this is like, I will read it out because this is something which maybe somebody is not able to see the screen or anything of that sort. So I will just quickly go through the objectives of the session. So first is that we will understand what the science of reading is and why it matters. Learn how the brain learns to read. Identify the 5 essential components of reading instruction. Explore classroom strategies to build reading skills. Apply differentiated techniques to support struggling readers. Okay, so these are the objectives. With this, with these objectives in mind, and I would request that everybody takes either a screenshot or remembers this so that we are able to link it to the reflection session that we have towards the end of the session, so that you can understand and you can gauge whether you have learned these skills or not, or whether we have covered these topics or not. All right, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first question is, how were you taught to read? So this is a reflection question, and I would like everybody to participate so that this workshop is interactive, because if I speak and nobody gets involved, then what happens is this is the one-way communication, which is not effective. And we talk about effective communication as teachers, right? So quickly, we can have the responses on the chat, and we can also have someone unmute and share their experience if they want. Come on.
Yeah, namaste, ma'am.
Namaste, Sangeeta ji.
Ma'am, actually, I'm working as a pre-primary teacher, so I prefer to taught through the phonics. So first they will learn the sound, and slowly study. They will make the words, and then after sentences, and start slowly study
मेरा
again.
question है कि आपने कैसे पढ़ना सीखा था? When you
Ma'am,
were a kid, how did you learn to read? That is my question.
मैम वो तो मम्मी पापा मार मार के पढ़ाते ही थे.
Ma'am, I would like to tell.
Hello.
This is what I want you to reflect upon, that हमने जैसे पढ़ा, हमने जैसे रीडिंग की शुरुआत करी, या जैसे भी हमने अपने स्किल्स डेवलप करे, उसमें और अब में अंतर क्या है? So this is going to be a reflection point towards the end. So that is why, yeah. Yeah,
I'm
please.
Neela Madan. I would like to share my experience. I remember when I was a child, both my parents, whenever they used to be free, तो वो words join करके सिखाते थे.
Okay.
जैसे 2 words, 3 words, and gradually I started learning. I still recall that.
Oh, great. Very good. Very
I'm
good.
Bhavna Singh.
Okay.
I'm-
Yes, Bhavna ma'am.
I learned through imitation.
Through indication.
Imitation. Imitate.
Imitation. Okay, imitation. Okay. Great. Okay, that is how we generally learn. Yeah. Great. Very good.
I'm Padmasree.
Yes,
Good
ma'am, I
evening.
want to tell.
I'm
Okay.
Padmasree.
Uh,
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Padmasree.
Okay, Padmashri.
I learned through pictures, ma'am. Picture
Oh,
reading. We used to go on seeing the pictures and identify the words.
that's very nice. That's very good. Quite progressive. Yes, picture reading is a fantastic way to learn words.
yes, ma'am, गुड इवनिंग मेरा नाम गीता
Yes.
शर्मा है
जी.
मैंने अपनी पढ़ाई सरकारी स्कूल से की थी और वहां पर बोर्ड पर जो है लिखे हुए होते थे प्रिंटेड फॉर्म में जो है अक्षर लिखे होते थे गिनतियां लिखी होती थी और हमारे टीचर जो है बोर्ड पे स्टिक रख रख के हमें वो दिखाते थे और बुलवाते थे
Okay.
से अनार आ से आम हमने ऐसे सीखा उनको और धीरे धीरे
Right.
फिर तख्ती पर हमने लिखा
मुझे
था
लग रहा है most of us have learned this way only, Geeta ji.
यस
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and I think that this workshop is going to be a great success because everybody has started interacting already. So let's move on now. I'm sorry I couldn't take a look at the chat. Maybe in the next section I will. Okay. So we are talking about science of reading. So what does it actually mean? So science of reading basically is there's a lot of research and there's a lot of studies that have been happening as how to children learn to read. So this is basically a collection of all those studies and research that have happened, and they have established that there is if you follow a particular pattern or a process, then the children learn faster. Okay, and it combines education to different other areas like languages, psychology, brain science. So these are the three main areas which promote learning. Okay, learning to read. So this is what science of reading is. So we will move on and see how it is implemented. Okay. Can we move? Yeah. So, when we are talking about reading, we hear a lot of things. Okay, we have a lot of notions about how children learn to read. So here I have put on 4 statements. So what you have to do is that you have to decide whether it's a myth or it's a fact. So quickly you will answer in the chat box. You don't have to write the complete sentence. You just have to write the number of the sentence. Say, for example, I feel that number 2 is a myth. Okay, I've already got all are myths. All are myths. Is it? Is it? Everybody, number 3 is a myth. Okay. Most of us are saying that they all are myths. Number 4 is a myth. Okay. So actually, the first answer was correct, and that is all are myths. Right? So reading is natural. It is not. Exposure to books is enough. It is not. Kids will catch up on their own. Never. And one method fits everyone. This is again not. So all of these are myths. So what do we do now? So these are myths. What's the truth? Ma'am, can we move on? I'm sorry, is somebody saying something? Okay. So now let's understand how the brain learns to read. Okay, so there are certain processes involved, and there are certain parts of our brain which deal with certain processes. Okay, so first, to begin with, we start with the orthographic process. What is the orthographic process, or the part of the brain, the processor? What does it do? What it basically recognizes the letters and the patterns that we are establishing to form words. So it deals with letters, it deals with patterns, and it deals with spelling. So for example, I've taken a very basic example here just to help us understand how it works. For example, the word, I'll come to that later. The letters are C-A-T. C-A-T. Then combining these letters to make the word cat. Okay? This leads to the next process now. So the next part of the brain, the phonological processor, comes into action. And then what happens is that it maps the letters to the sounds. So what does the letter C, how do we pronounce it? How do we sound it out? So letter C is accompanied with the sound K. A is accompanied with the sound A. And T is accompanied with the sound T. So together they form the word cat. So now we know that it has to sound like cat. Okay? So letter, then sound, and then word. Ma'am, we need to go back, please. Okay. The previous slide, ma'am, please. Yes. Okay. So then from the phonological processor, it passes to the meaning processor. So now what is happening here? That we know the letters, we know the sound, we know the word now. So how do we know what cat is? Is it an animal, or is it a thing, or is it a person? So then we show a picture. All right. So now we know that cat is a furry animal. It is soft, and you can add more adjectives. So this is how the complete process of learning words and uh, you know later on reading happens. So these are the three processors in our brain which process systematically whatever we see and we hear. Okay, can we move on, please? So now this leads to a very pertinent question, that how do we achieve that, how do we ensure that the process is happening in a proper way, right? So then here the explicit instructions come into place. What are explicit instructions? We all know, we are teachers, that it has to be, there are certain characteristics which make it explicit. So those characteristics are direct, structured, purposeful. And what happens when the instructions are direct, structured, and purposeful? Then the child doesn't have any kind of doubt in the mind how to process information, or how to go about a task. So this is very, very important when we are talking about teaching reading skills, because your instructions have to be very clear. If they're not, then there will be a scope for ambiguity. The children will be not very clear about what you're trying to say, or what your expectation is, and everything is going to haywire. Okay, so next, let's move on to the next slide. Why is it important? We have already got an impression of why it is important, but let's see through an example. For example, we are talking about phonics. I have written a term here, GPC. What does it stand for? Does anyone know? GPC. How does it relate to phonics? Does anyone know, or should I tell? Okay, I'll tell. So G stands for grapheme, P stands for phoneme, and C stands for comprehension. So what is happening is, when you are learning a new word, the first thing that you get is the letter. Okay. For example, one letter or a group of letters. For example, and sh. Okay. So these are graphemes. So these are the letters. Then you come to the sound part. So how these letters are connected to the sound. When these two join together, then they form a word. That is the comprehension part. Okay. So comprehension is a a combination of grapheme and phoneme. Okay. So how does it help the explicit instruction we are talking about? How does it help phonics? So children are not aware of sounds. Initially, they are not aware of letters as well when we are teaching them in the preparatory stage. Okay, in the first class, the play school. So they are learning how to identify letters, and then they are learning how to identify sounds. So you have to be very specific. For example, there is the sound of A, right? So the sound of A, the short sound is A, but sometimes we say A. A says A, but it's not correct. So they'll be learning the wrong thing. So that is why it is said that the instruction needs to be very clear, so that the foundation of reading, which is phonics, uh, gets ingrained in their mind. They don't forget it, and they get the right sound for the right letter. So we cannot say, show them C and say that says A. It can't, right? So this is the role of explicit instruction when we are teaching reading skills to children at a foundational stage, because this is where the base is getting strengthened. If the base is weak here itself, then it will be very difficult to build it up at later stages. So as primary, the teachers in the kindergarten section, they play a very, very important role here, right? I'm sure there are a lot of teachers here who belong to this segment. So this is for you especially. Then we have vocabulary and meaning. There also, we need to build connections. We just can't say that this is the word. For example, monument is the word. How do they know that what it means? So we have to very clearly establish that this is the meaning of a monument. We show them a monument, and then they understand, okay, how to use the word in their daily uh, conversations. Okay, if we don't tell them that what is the meaning, if they don't know what is the meaning of a particular word, they will never be able to use it, isn't it? Do you agree? Show me a thumbs up if you agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Thumbs up? I can't see any thumbs up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right, let's move on then. Now we come to the pillars of reading. Okay, so these are the 5 pillars: phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. This is how it moves. First comes the phonemic awareness, then comes phonics, then comes fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. So we will take a look at each of these parameters. Okay, let's move on. So first we are going to explore phonemic awareness. So what is phonemic awareness? Are you aware of it? What is phonemic awareness? So
Ma'am,
it is,
the
Sound.
yes, Sanita ma'am.
It's
Yes.
a sound that's just been spoken.
I'm sorry.
तो हम लोग जो शब्द बनाते हैं उसके द्वारा, अगर कैट पहले आपने जो बोले थे कैट, तो इक इट, इसके द्वारा यही है ना फोनिक्स अवेयरनेस
Right, right.
द्वारा
So yes. So हम पहले क्या कर रहे हैं? पहले हम अक्षर देख रहे हैं या लेटर देख रहे हैं. उसके बाद उसकी ध्वनि क्या होती है, साउंड क्या होता है, वो हमने देखा, एंड देन हमने वर्ड फॉर्म करा. तो ये होता है फोनेमिक अवेयरनेस. ओके साउंड्स को हम लेटर्स के साथ कैसे हम उसको रिलेट कर रहे हैं, कैसे कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, राइट? एंड व्हेन वी आर एबल टू डू इट, then we are able to make words, write words very easily, and of course read words. So first comes reading. Okay, speaking, reading, and then writing. Correct? All right. So here I have listed certain activities which can help us to build the skill. I'm sure you must be doing this in your classes, but I would quickly, would want to do it here with you. For example, sound matching. Sound matching कैसे हो सकता है? Any idea? Sound matching. कौन सी एक्टिविटी हम करा सकते हैं? Which activity can we do to accomplish this? The skill of hearing sound and matching the letter. Or the
होमोफोन्स हो
word.
सकता है, होमोफोन्स हो सकता है मैम, वाणी सी ऐसे हुआ.
Ma'am, I
Sound
can't hear
matching.
you very clearly.
मैम होमोफोन्स है ना.
Homophones.
हाँ, वाणी
अभी
अगर सी ऐसे
Rhyming words.
राइमिंग.
rhyming
Rhyming
words.
words.
Okay. So sound matching can happen. Yeah, the rhyming words, yes. Homophones, yes.
हाँ जी,
So
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम, एक जंबो वो भी कर सकते हैं हम इसमें, मतलब बच्चों को एक वो बनाकर दे दिया, एक
मैम वो बिंगो शीट वो लगा सकते हैं क्या मैम?
लाइक बिंगो ना.
बिंगो.
yes.
Ma'am, even
See,
unscrambled
so
word
many
also
ideas
we
are
can
coming
do.
in. So what you can do is, for example, हम ये बहुत basic, this is a very basic exercise that we do in our preparatory classes. So for example, we give them a sound. For example, I give them a sound, say, cha. And I tell them that give me a word which starts with the sound cha and ends with the sound cha. So there can be two different words. One word where you can start with cha, and one word which can end, which ends with cha. So sound matching. So here what is happening is the child is catching the sound and the word together. So the connections are happening, right? So you see how it is going to help you in your reading skills, right? Then comes segmenting. What is segmenting? Segmenting in the literal sense is that dividing into different parts, correct? So when you, in this activity, what you can do is that you can say, speak a word. For example, I say dad. Then I tell the child that you divide it according to the sounds that you hear. So how many sounds do we hear? Dad. How
Three
many
sounds will
segments
be.
there?
Three will be divided.
Three sounds.
Three.
It's
Excellent.
Three
Very
sounds.
good. Good job. Very good. Three. All right.
The-
Now I'm giving you another word. Photography. Photography. How many segments?
हम एक और बार बोलिए मैम.
Photography.
Four.
Four.
Three.
Graph,
Three.
y. Yes, 3. Photography. Photo, graph, and plus y.
Photography.
Four.
Photography.
Four.
चार.
Four.
Four.
Four sounds, right? So
Four
these are
are.
syllables, right? So we are dividing into 4 syllables. So here it sounds in the lower classes, and then when we graduate to higher classes, then it becomes syllables. Okay? So this is segmenting. Then what is blending? Blending is just the opposite of segmenting. We put everything together. So I am giving a word in an expanded form. The child is supposed to blend it and put it together. So for example, the same example that I'm taking, dad. Okay. So I am telling him d, a, d. D, a, d. So what will be the child, how is he expected to say the word?
Dad.
Dad. Okay. Similarly, I say pen. P, e, n. P, e, n. So
Pen.
you will say pen. Okay. So this is blending. So these are all the strategies that we are using already, but sometimes we are not aware of the technical terms. So these are the 3 activities I've just mentioned here. There are numerous more which can be added to your Okay, I'm getting a lot of responses in the chat box as well. Very good. All right. So let's move on, ma'am. Okay. So now we are talking about phonics. What is phonics?
Sounds.
Joining letters
Sound.
and sounds.
It sounds.
Sound of letters.
Okay. Right. And this can happen only when your instructions are very clear. Right. So when you're saying this letter C, so you say that the letter C says K. Is there any other sound that C says? Is there any other sound for C?
S also, ma'am.
Right. So C says, acha. One thing about phonics I would like to clarify here, that because you don't attach any vowel after a consonant. So whenever you are saying a sound, no, it cannot be the complete sound. For example, C says we will not say K. Why? Because if we say K, then there is surely some sound added. Okay. K, because consonants don't have their own sound. Correct? Only when we add a vowel to it, then they get their sound. Right? So when we are talking about sounds, we will say A says A, B says B, B, not B. C says K, not K. D says D, not D. All right? So don't linger on it. It has to be a very short sound. Okay? So this is the one thing that I wanted to tell you. So now we are talking about phonics. So we are establishing a connection between letters and sounds. Your instructions need to be very clear. A says A, sometimes A. A as A, apple. A, A, A. So long sound, short sound. Okay? So instructions are very clear. Will you make a mistake? Will you make a mistake?
No.
No, ma'am.
It's a very crisp instruction. A says A as in apple. A says A. Right? A. One thing I missed in between. What is that? A says ape. Does A say ape? A says A as in ape. So I missed one leg of the instruction. So that I'm not giving explicit instruction. So A does not say apple. A says A. And A says A. Okay. C does not say cat. It says K. Right. So you have to be very particular about your instruction. Correct? So I hope I've been able to deliver the point I was trying to tell you, that instructions have to be clear.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Okay. I want thumbs up to flow on my screen. There are many people here. There are many people, 69 people, including me and Twinkle ma'am. So I want 67 thumbs up. Oh, yes. Very good. All right. Now we can play some games to develop the skill of phonics. Okay. Because this is how we will be able to understand also, assess also how the children are growing. Correct? So one very popular game is bingo, phonics bingo. You know how to play it?
यस मैम बच्चों को
Okay.
हम वो हाँ जी अलग अलग डिफरेंट साउंड्स के लेटर्स दे देते हैं, मतलब वो एक ही शीट होती है बिंगो, तो टीचर जो बोलेगा बच्चा उसे काटता जाएगा ना, जिसका सबसे पहले
Right.
ये वो बिंगो हो
फाइनली
जाएगा.
वो जो कलेक्ट है वो बिंगो बोलते हैं.
Excellent, excellent. So this is like played like a bingo. So the teacher says a word, right? For example, I'm taking a diagram, SH. Okay. So for example, I say fish. Okay. So if the child has SH in the bingo sheet, the child will cross it off. Similarly, TH, CH. So when I am recapitulating my lessons on diagrams, so we can take this game up, right? Then there is one very famous, tool. This is not a game, this exactly, but you can convert it into a game, but it's actually a tool. So this is Elkanen boxes. So what does this say? I have given a sample here. Can you see that? So first comes the letter part. CAT, that's on the top. Okay. Then second is the phonic syllables. Okay. Ka, a, ta. Then you can see the green counters. What the child needs to do here is that the sound that he hears, he has to place the counters. So if he hears 3 sounds, then he will place 3 counters. And if he hears say 4 sounds, 5 sounds, so as many sounds he hears, so he will put all those many counters on those boxes. Okay, so how does it help? Basically what is happening is that when you are just verbally doing it, the child is using only his listening skills, right? He's only hearing. But when you do activities like this, your kinesthetic skills are also getting involved. So more than one, this is a multi-sensory approach. All right. So they are seeing also, they are having a visual clue to the sound, plus they are, because they are doing that activity, so the retention of that word will last longer. Right. And that's, of course, they are seeing that cat also, the picture also. So this is the complete learning that is happening. Right. So that is why they say that it has to be, whatever you're teaching has to be multi-sensory. So that not only they, if they use more than one senses, then the retention of that knowledge is more. Understood? Okay. So what is syllable clapping? This is a very popular, game that we play in the classes, especially in the foundational stage. Syllable clapping.
To break down the words into syllables?
Right. So the teacher speaks out a word. For example, you speak a word. Any one of you.
Banana.
Banana. Na.
3 claps.
Na. Right?
3 claps. Yeah.
Right? So this way, the children are going to do it. And when they are physically engaged in this activity, their attention is going to happen more. They are going to learn better. Okay, if we just tell them that, okay, this is C says ka as in cat, ka at cat. We are just writing on the board. They are copying it in their copies. Do you think that it will happen in the way that we expect it to?
No.
No, it cannot happen like that, right? So it has to be like this, that you have to involve the child in more than one ways. It has to be engaging for the child so that he takes interest. No, बैठे बैठे लिखने से क्या होता है, right? So the whole body is engaged. Then you have root word detective. This is a very popular game that we play in the higher classes. For example, there's a word unbelievable. What is the root word?
हम यहाँ prefix आ रहा है
Believable.
unbelievable, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Believe, ma'am, believe.
Believe,
Root
correct.
word
Yes,
is believe.
Romana ma'am, very good, very good. So believe is the root word. We are adding a prefix and we are adding a suffix as well, right? So prefix is
un.
un, and what is the suffix?
Able.
Very good, excellent, good job. My students are very good. काश के ऐसे ही students हर एक class में होते. All right, now let's move on to the
आ
next slide.
जाएंगे मैम
हाँ जी.
आपकी क्लास में हम आ जाएंगे मैम हमें एक बार बस सिखा दीजिए.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Then the third pillar is fluency. So what do you mean by fluency? It's a combination, right? So fluency is speed, accuracy, and expression. So I read this sentence. I went to the market yesterday. How does it sound? Dead, right? I went to the market yesterday. How does it sound?
Better, ma'am.
Better? Okay.
Yes.
Another example. Another example. मैं आपको एक सेंटेंस दे रही हूँ, आपको बोलना है वो, ठीक है? और कौन बोलेगा? Please raise your hand. Okay, all right. So my sentence is, oh, you are going to Mumbai tomorrow. So I have to combine speed, accuracy, and expression.
You are
Yes.
going to Bombay tomorrow.
Yes. Okay. Anybody else would like to try?
Oh,
Yes,
you are
fine.
going to Mumbai tomorrow?
Very good. So how does it sound? Better. And do you
Are
think that
you going to Mumbai tomorrow?
Okay, very good. So this is how,
Are you going to
reading with
Mumbai tomorrow?
yes. So when you're putting feelings into it, when you're putting feelings, for example, I put an exclamation mark and still I read it like this. Oh, you are going to Mumbai tomorrow. So what's the point of putting an exclamation mark? You might as well put a full stop after O. Oh, so that's an exclamation, right? So reading with speed, accuracy, and expression. If we can build this in children, then their reading will not only become, they will take interest in it, they will enjoy it, right? So, and then we're talking about storytelling, teaching the children to storytell and express their feelings, public speaking, and all that happens. But first, we need to make them read fluently. And what are the three aspects? Speed, accuracy, and expression, right? So what are the activities that we can do? I'm sure you must be having some reading strategies in your classroom. Can somebody share? Would somebody share?
Role play, ma'am.
Role play, okay.
Ma'am, we
We are
can
talking
do
about
drama.
reading. We are talking about reading.
रीडिंग ओके मैम टीचर जो बोलेगा जैसे हम पढ़ रहे हैं वैसे ही बच्चा आपके पीछे बोलेगा स्पीक आफ्टर यू
Okay, repeat after me. All right.
Ma'am,
Okay.
we can do
So
drama
shallow reading
also.
हो सकती है. What else? What else? Echo reading हो सकती है. What else?
Drama enact.
I'm sorry.
Ma'am, drama or enact.
Drama and enactment. Okay, so you can say that आप script दे सकते हो उनको. I think Indrajit ma'am, that is what you were trying to say, right? So हम
Yeah.
script दे सकते हैं उनको. They can read the script and enact. Okay, so fine. So we are mixing drama in this. Very good. All right. So obviously, yes, this is a very good way of
Ma'am,
building
we
on
can give them a
fluency.
situation and we can tell them to speak something
Yes,
about it.
correct. Then we can also, for example, there are certain
Anji.
children who don't want to read because they are
Ma'am,
not very confident.
voice over.
Voice over, excellent, very good. That's very innovative, very innovative. So you are bringing in theatre. Yes. Sorry, Meenakshi ma'am, you're saying something? Okay. So what else can we do? For the children who don't speak much, who are hesitant, we can do a pair reading exercise to pull the child. Okay, so that he doesn't feel threatened. Plus, he's doing the skills also. I mean, the practice of the skills. All right. Okay, let's move on. Here, this is very important because if I tell you, for example, that you have say 10,000 rupees in your bank. Okay, will you be able to spend 10,001 rupees or take out 10,001 rupees from your bank?
No, ma'am.
No. Why? Why?
लिमिटेशंस मैम
I'm sorry.
लिमिट होती है लिमिटेशंस हैं कि आपको आप फिक्स है वो चीज कि 1000 मींस 1000 से
नहीं,
ऊपर
मैं ये बोल रही हूँ आपके पास 10,000 रुपीज हैं तो क्या
Okay.
आप 10,001 रुपीस बैंक से निकाल सकते हो?
No, ma'am.
नो मैम,
नो ना,
जितने
क्यों?
बैंक में होगा उतना ही निकालेंगे ना।
Because we have only
Exactly.
10,000 in our account.
Exactly. So 10,000 in our bank, so 10,000 only we will be able to utilize. Same works with vocabulary. क्यों बच्चे नहीं बोलते? Why can't they converse in English, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities? Why can't they? Because first the background हमारा English का नहीं है. English is our second language. All right. So we are learning to speak that language. So vocabulary plays a very important role in reading and speaking. Right. So understanding the use of a wide range of words, this is what we are talking about. So what are the strategies to build vocabulary? Word walls, I'm sure a lot of us are using,
वर्ड
isn't
वॉल
it? Word wall, right? How does it work? First thing we come in the morning, or we start a class, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Recapitulation. 2 minutes, we just read the words that we had read yesterday. Okay, so that they don't forget. What happens is, say, हमारे साथ भी ऐसा होता है that, for example, you read a word in some of the lessons. So, in one of the lessons. Then what happens is that word doesn't get repeated. For example, archaeology. So when you were talking about, civilizations and all that, maybe then you had read that word, and in rest of the lessons, it doesn't get repeated. What will happen? What will happen? I want others to answer as well, because I can see only 4 people answering. I'm sure you've paid for this, right, Twinkle ma'am? So if you've paid for it, then earn it.
मैम हम
Yeah,
भूल
come on.
जाएंगे।
यूज ही होता है मैम, जो वर्ड वो तो फिर भूल ही जाते हैं ना, याद ही नहीं रहता।
भूल जाते हैं, राइट? तो उसका
हाँ
क्या
जी।
करेंगे फिर? हमने कल
मैम
पढ़ा,
हम लोग
एक वीक के बाद तो हम भूल ही जाएंगे उसको,
Recapitulation is the better way to understand.
हम
right?
सुबह
So how
आने
will
के
you
बाद
recapitulate? How will you
morning when we
recapitulate?
comes
Put them
morning
up as
when they
sight
comes it
words.
will be repeated.
Yes, you put them up on the
Early
word
morning.
walls. Make them read every day. And more than that, you tell them, you give them the responsibility that these are the blank cards. You have to write the word. Give them a letter. You have to search these words in the book, in the lesson, and write them on the word wall. Okay, so what is happening is they are getting involved in the activity. So they take the onus as well. So they will read. They will take interest. All right. So this is one word wall is one strategy. Then you have semantic maps. So I have given an example here. How do you build vocabulary? For example, there's a word space. So you are not just teaching space. What are you teaching? You're teaching stars, you're teaching astronaut, you're teaching asteroid, you're teaching solar system, you're teaching planets. So one word is leading to 5 more words. You understand?
మీ మైండ్ అంటున్నారే కదా.
Yes, it is like mapping. So whatever word, other words are associated with the particular word that you're talking about, you do that, because हो सकता है कि stars वो पढ़े ना, right? वो हो सकता है that it is included in one of the lessons. Astronaut, one of the lessons. Asteroid, one of the lessons. Correct. So what you're doing here is you're training their mind how to associate, how to build connections between words. So there's a holistic understanding of that word. So when I talk about space, I can imagine, I can visualize planets, I can visualize the solar system, I can visualize an astronaut, I can visualize stars. How will you bring in science into it? If you are observant, there is something different. There is something different, in this picture. What is it? Picture read. Come on. What is different?
Erase की तरह जैसे sun.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
पिंग लगा के रखे जैसे सन की तरह रेस की तरह है.
Okay. I want others to answer, please. See, the more you interact, the more your brain will be working, and the more you keep quiet, your brain will go to sleep. So if you want to send your brain to sleep mode, you're most welcome not to participate.
Ma'am, astronaut is a different word.
Astronaut.
Yes,
Astronaut.
astronaut is a different word. It is marked in purple.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what science can you bring in here? You're teaching language.
Yes, ma'am.
What science is
So,
there? Space itself is a word from science or some story in English, but we are talking about vocabulary building. So what are the other concepts that you can bring in here?
Ma'am, about the heavenly bodies.
About the heavenly bodies, yes. What else?
ma'am, they will understand what are astronaut.
Constellation.
Okay. What else?
Ma'am,
There is something very stark. Why is astronaut marked in purple and the
Odd
others
one
in
out.
pink?
Odd one
Ma'am,
out.
ma'am, for
Because
the
it's
solar
not a
system,
part.
Yes.
Ma'am, this
Come
is
on.
odd one.
Who said it? Who said it?
solar system, ma'am, they will count
Ma'am,
the
it's not a
Odd one
part
out.
how
of
many
the
planets are
solar
there.
system.
How is astronaut the odd one out? You said. So
Yes,
how is
Ma'am,
astronaut different from others?
it's not a
We
part of the space.
human being and others are the part of the
He's not
space.
a part. He's not
So-
part of the
It's a
solar system.
human
Okay,
being.
that is one difference. Very good. That is one difference. What else?
Living
For
and
the
non-living.
younger kids,
Ma'am, they can choose profession also on the basis of astronaut.
excellent. Very good. देखो आप कितना how much learning is happening. All right. One more thing. One more thing which is very obvious.
Doesn't belong to the group.
Astronaut do the study of these things. Astronaut जो
That's
है,
fine. That's fine. Yes. But
yes.
one more
Ma'am,
thing that is
living, non-living.
yes, living, non-living. Okay. So there's so many concepts in one word. Can you imagine the kind of learning that is going to happen in your class if you start this thing? Right. So next is your context clues. You give a sentence or a paragraph and then you choose one word and ask the child that in reference or in context of that paragraph, what would that word mean? This is also a very good strategy which is used in higher classes, not in the lower
Synonyms.
classes.
Ma'am, it's synonyms.
Synonyms? Yeah, synonyms, yes. But here, according to the paragraph, the use of that word, you have to write the meaning. All right. So, this is basically one of the strategies which is used in higher class. Okay, let's move on then. I think then otherwise we won't be able to cover up everything. Then we come to the fifth pillar or the last pillar, that is comprehension. Okay, very important. Comprehension. Whatever they read, whether they are able to make sense out of it or not. If they're not able to make sense out of it, what will they understand? How will they understand the lesson? Okay, so what are the strategies that we use? Background knowledge. So what do we do here? For example, before we start a lesson, so there are certain warm-up exercises that we do. So we ask them to predict. We ask them to predict. Okay, read the title of the lesson. Read the title of the lesson. What do you think the lesson would be about? Okay, so this is one background knowledge check. Or when you're discussing a concept, ask them.
Value of the lesson. Value of the lesson.
Value of the lesson, yes. Value
Value
of the
teaching.
correct.
Value teaching.
Yes, yes. The value of the lesson. What the lesson is all about. The main idea, the story of the lesson. They might be able to predict. Okay.
Whether
Then
the
you have
story
yes.
connection is with their personal experiences can be done.
Yes, yes. So you're very right. So when they
Value-based learning.
yeah, so
Value-based learning.
yes. So when you're able to connect that with your personal experiences, your learning will be holistic as it is because you're able to connect with that information.
Only real life learning, है ना ma'am?
Yes, Yes. So for example, Malgudi days की कोई एक story हम पढ़ते हैं. So we can easily connect whenever we are reading that, whenever we read that story, or even before that reading that story, we are able to guess what is going to happen. So it's a very taken from everyday life. So children are able to connect better, so the understanding will be better. So that is why the NEP and NCF both are stressing that you have to help children establish those connections. We are not teachers, we are facilitators now. So we are just helping them connect information and build new knowledge, right? So background knowledge is one thing. Then questioning, how to form questions. This skill we need to teach them. And how can we teach them? When we ourselves are asking questions. For example, you read a bit of a paragraph with them, a bit of a lesson with them. Okay, what is happening is, if you ask them questions, what happened? Why do you think this happened? So instantly the brain is active. It is thinking, right? So, और एक तरीका ये भी है कि that you finish the lesson and then you say, okay, I will ask questions at the end of the lesson only. I will not let myself get disturbed with all these lessons. Do you think that's the right approach?
No, ma'am,
No,
they will
ma'am.
not be curious anymore.
They will lose interest. So somebody will be lying like this, somebody will be sitting like this, somebody will be sleeping, snoring away to glory, right? So you have to establish these engagement points with them, that after every paragraph, you yourself have to write those questions beforehand. Otherwise, हो सकता है कि उस समय, हाँ, हो सकता है कि आपको एक come up with a very important question at that time. But it is always better to be prepared beforehand. So whenever you're doing a lesson, you feel that this paragraph is very, very important and contains a very important information. So you quickly write down questions in your in your book only. Pencil say, you can write it down. So these are the questions I can ask. So what is happening? You are checking comprehension, whether they are understanding or not. And it's real time.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
And when we are asking questions, we should also be conscious that the answer should not be yes or no. It has to
Yeah.
be a complete, it has to be something which the child has to
Yes.
think and answer.
Yes. Correct. Very good point. That it has to be open-ended, not close-ended. Right. So
Ma'am,
close-ended is like yes
excuse me,
or
ma'am.
no. Yes. Yes.
Ma'am,
Please.
we can ask the questions related to the characters of the story as well.
Yes. You can. You can. So that is why. But if you don't have these questions written down somewhere, do you think that you'll be able to do it? I don't think so. Because at one point of time, there are so many things happening in your mind that you tend to forget. It's not that you are intentionally forgetting it. Okay, you're intentionally not doing it, not forgetting, not doing it. But maybe you forgot. All right. Okay. So next is summarizing. So whenever you have completed a chapter, help the children summarize it, so that you are able to understand whether they have taken the main ideas from the lesson or not. Okay, if you don't summarize, you will never come to know, because not everything is important, right? Only the main things are important. For example, you're talking about photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is a complete chapter on photosynthesis. All right, how plants make their food. So this is the chapter name, and there are so many things that have been discussed to build around that particular main concept. So do you expect your child to remember everything? Is it possible?
No, ma'am, it's not possible.
For example, yeah, it's not possible. For example, this session that we are in, will you remember everything I say? No, you will
No,
not.
ma'am.
Right? So this is how summarization helps you to helps in building comprehension. Okay, so there are 5 pillars. What are they? Quickly in the chat box. First. I'm waiting. Come on.
Phonetic awareness.
Sorry?
Phonemic awareness.
Yes, phonemic awareness. Excellent. Very good. Very good memory. Second?
Phonics.
Phonics. Very good. I like it. Third?
Fluency.
Very good.
Fluency.
Fluency. Third?
Vocabulary.
Fluency.
Vocabulary.
Third, fluency.
Fluency.
Fourth,
Right.
vocabulary.
Right.
Fourth,
Right.
vocabulary.
And then fourth?
Fifth, comprehension.
Vocabulary.
Fifth,
Fourth.
comprehension.
Fourth
Fifth
is?
comprehension.
Fourth is
Fourth
comprehension.
is
No,
vocabulary.
fourth vocabulary.
Fourth
Right.
vocabulary.
That's five.
Comprehension.
Fifth is
Fourth is
comprehension.
vocabulary. Right. And five is comprehension.
Comprehension.
Very good. So you remember this now, huh? So these are the 5 pillars of building reading skills. All right. Next, please, ma'am. Okay. So now we are going to discuss certain classroom strategies. So I have tried to divide it according to grades. So from K to 3, I have taken one broad category. So here we are going to discuss certain strategies, right? So daily phonemic awareness routines, you will have it. Do you have it? Do you do it? Do you do it? See, I'm asking you this question so that you can reflect that whether you are really helping and supporting your children, because they need support.
Yes,
They are very
ma'am.
young, right? They need support. They need your support to build their skills. Okay. Very honest, Romana. You're saying that no, ma'am. All right. Not daily. But you do it daily. Do it daily. And not only English teachers, even EVS teacher can do it, math teacher can do it, science teacher can do it, everyone can do it. You have to just pick your words. Okay, because everything does not, the English teacher does not know what is the word in your science book. She is supposed to deal with English, not science. Right? So if you want your child to learn a particular terminology in science, you have to make the effort, darling, not the English teacher. Isn't it? So this is one routine that you have to do every day.
Daily
without
phonemic
fail.
awareness routine.
Yes, this you need to do every day. Okay? Dictation. For example, you're taking spelling drill. Yes, Joydeep, you wanted to ask something?
Thank you for this reflection, because this what I realized, that majority of us are falling short of the daily practice that we need, and what you have shared with us is a meaningful light. So when I go back to my team, I can say that we need to set up a routine to be able to establish meaningful connection with words across subjects. Thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you so much, Joy. So this is what is so for example, you are taking remedial classes, right? I'm sure there are certain children who need help and extra support with their reading. So you are running remedial classes. So you do it. You have a schedule, but आज नहीं हो पाया because this thing happened. Tomorrow I will not be able to do it because I have this thing lined up. So it doesn't work like that. With children, you have to be consistent. Give just 2 minutes, 5 words for dictation every day. And every teacher is going to do it. 5 words, only 5 words. How much time do you think it is going to take? Not more than 5 minutes. Right? But what is happening? You see the effect also. They are learning the spellings. So it is going to help in their writing skills. It is going to help in their reading skills. So next time when they read those words or come across those words, they will not have any difficulty.
Ma'am, we are doing, ma'am. हर हफ्ते हम लोग कर रहे हैं, सारे सब्जेक्ट में कर रहे हैं. उसके बाद हफ्ते के बाद ई सर्टिफिकेट भी दे देंगे हम लोग.
Very good, very good. So this is, for example, a difficult word like photography. It's a complex word. It's not a simple word, right? So photography. Now, if you've given them the sounds, they know the letters. F means what they will write. To, what they will write. Gra, what they will write. Fi. So when they hear the sounds, they are able to reproduce the letters. So they don't have to mug up. They don't have to go letter by letter. P H O T O
Excuse me, ma'am.
R A P H Y. I mean, so many letters. And here you just have to uh, memorize 4 sounds. Not even memorize, just hear them and reproduce. F.
Oh,
You can say fo, but we
So-
write fo, but
Fi.
say f. Okay? Photography.
see.
Right? So fo, pho, to, theo, gra, gra, fi, ph. Simple? So if you teach these strategies to your children, they will be fantastic spellers. They will never go wrong with their spellings. Because it is ingrained in their minds. Because you are using a multi-sensory approach. Okay. Next is use decodable text. Decodable means which you can break down or which you can make sense of. Decode, which you can make sense of. All right. So use decodable text. Here is an example that I've given. I've taken it from somewhere, so I've mentioned the source also. So what is happening here? For example, you are talking about diagrams, right? So you have done SH, TH, CH, and all that. So you come up with the text. Intentionally, you choose a text which has these words. For example, here I've given, I am doing diagrams. Okay, this is a very foundational level example because it will be easier for you to understand what I mean. So a fish came up to the sheep. So I'm talking about diagrams, SH. And then I tell the child we can play a game. So every time they hear the sh sound or a ch sound or the th sound, they are going to clap. So fish came up to the sheep, right? So this is how you can integrate things. Okay, clear? Then you have multi-sensory phonics instruction, like we did in the, which one? What boxes?
Ma'am, the green dots that we had to, check.
Yes, the Elkanen boxes. Okay, or the sound boxes. Easier name is sound boxes. Okay, so that's a multi-sensory approach. Similarly, you can, hold a relay race. Can you hold a relay race? For example, can somebody give me an example of a relay race? How you can do phonics through a relay race? You're bringing physical education in your class. Relay race. Any idea?
One starts, gets the answer, goes to the second friend, or maybe a clap. The second friend starts identifying the second clue, and then give clap to the third one. It's like that.
Correct. So you can start with the letter. For example, you can
Relay
start with the
race
letter.
relay
Then
race
the next, yes.
हाँ जी, रिले रेस ऐसे भी करवा सकते हैं. सपोज हम ए साउंड वर्ड करा रहे हैं, एक बच्चा कैट बोलेगा, भाग के जाके अपने फ्रेंड को कैट बोलेगा, वो उसका राइमिंग वर्ड बताएगा, फिर वो आगे जाके दूसरा वर्ड बताएगा.
Excellent, very good. This excellent. So this is how you can bring life into your classes. Phonics is a very, very engaging activity. You just can't, do it verbally or in the written form. Making words that with the last letter. Okay. Alphabet is the complete set of 26 letters. One individual alphabet. So last letter, not alphabet. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we are actually running. Yes. So you can have a frog race. You can do whatever with this. Right? Okay. Let's go to the next slide, please, ma'am. Then we are focusing on higher classes. So morphology. For example, you are talking about vocabulary with them. So what can we do? We can talk about suffixes, we can talk about prefixes, we can talk about roots. So there are different activities that we can do here. Also, you can do you can create a lot of you know mm, what engagement in your classroom, right? What activity can you do so that the children are not just sitting or just not speaking, but they're moving around in the class? What activity can be done here? And believe me, it doesn't take more than 1 or 2 minutes. Doesn't take more than 2 minutes to do an activity, and they will enjoy it. And I'm telling you, if you invest 2 minutes of your time in this, in such building such skills, you will be uh, so happy at the end of the day, because your efforts during the class will reduce substantially, right? So prefix, suffix and roots का फटाफट एक activity कौन बताएगा?
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah, Chumki ma'am.
Ma'am, we can appoint few children and make them stand with placards like prefix placards or suffix placards. They will just hold the placard, and few words will be distributed among the rest of the children who are
Yes.
seated, and then they
Yes.
have to join the particular group.
Yes, exactly. Fantastic. Well done, ma'am. Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So can you imagine how your class will be? So full of life. और एक imagine करिए कि हम बोल रहे हैं अच्छा, this is the word, now add a suffix or the prefix and a suffix, and you have to identify the root word. Can you imagine the transformation that can happen? Will they ever forget prefix, suffix if you teach it the way Chunki ma'am had said? No thumbs up coming up, huh?
It will be entertaining and interaction will be there. Where it will be fun only. Learning bit will be fun.
Yes.
Where they are learning
Yes.
and just sharing their words, everything.
Correct. So sharing, and you are giving also, there are certain children in your class who are a little shy, right? I will not say slow learners or anything, but they are a little shy. They don't express themselves. So when they are engaged in these kinds of activities, they come out of that shell.
Vocabulary
Right?
improves.
Yeah, and you don't have to make extra efforts to separately call that child to you, and build those skills with them. So you just have you do these activities and the children will learn naturally. I think ma'am. Okay, let me try and present, but I can't. I just see ma'am is there. Can you see Twinkle ma'am anywhere? Yeah, he's there. Twinkle ma'am, are you there? Coasters making with suffix and prefix, Jyoti, can engage the young mind. Yes, fantastic. That's very good. And you are integrating art as well. Very good. So these are the resources you can create. I mean, A4 size paper से बना सकते हैं हम. You don't need a लंबा चौड़ा thing for that, isn't it? Very good ideas. Fantastic.
Ma'am, to improve the vocabulary, one way of there that password of the day, passcode of the day. One
Yes.
word daily a student can write on the
Very
board or
good.
on the matlab all the day they will use the word.
Very good. And they will enjoy it, no? एक तो
Yes.
detective feeling
In
आएगी
place
उनको.
of the may I come in
Yes.
and may I go, they will use the passcode.
Right. Very
One
good.
word
Very
will
good
be
idea.
there of all the students. Every day they will read, they will learn a new word.
Yeah, very good, excellent, excellent.
And हम लोग ना एक क्या करते हैं, एक पासवर्ड पॉकेट बनाकर डोर पर लगा देते हैं. जो भी बच्चा एवरी डे उसमें न्यू वर्ड डालते हैं. जो भी बच्चा क्लास में आएगा वो हर टाइम वो निकाल के पढ़ के बताएगा कि ये क्या वर्ड है.
हाँ,
उससे
that's
उनकी
very good.
वोकैबुलरी बिल्ड भी होती है और एक्टिविटी भी अच्छी है, इंटरेस्टिंग है.
That's
वो खुश होते हैं
excellent.
निकाल कर पढ़ना उन्हें.
Right. So see, there are so many things that we can do. I'll just make a call to ma'am. What happened here? I hope you're enjoying the session. Nobody's getting bored.
No, ma'am.
Huh?
Thoroughly enjoying it, ma'am.
Awesome session,
thoroughly
ma'am.
enjoying it. But मेरे को कोई यहाँ पे कोई इमोजी वगैरह तो मिल नहीं रही है मुझे. I'm not getting anything. I'm not on my screen, not on my chat box. On my screen, I want it. I want my reward. If I'm doing a good job, then I must be appreciated. No. If your child does a good job, won't you appreciate? Very good. Oh, thank you so much. Made my day. Till the time we are waiting for
क्लास लाने यार थोड़ी सी रह गई है.
let me call Twinkle ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, I want to ask one thing.
Yes.
Madam, how vocabulary should be improved? This is my question. According to you.
I'm sorry, your voice, somebody's mic is unmuted. Somebody's mic is unmuted. Please mute yourself. It's a humble request. Baljeet Kaur. Baljeet ma'am, can you please mute your mic? Baljeet ma'am, can you please mute your mic? She can't hear me. I can't hear you, sir. You asked a question.
Yes, ma'am. According to you, how vocabulary should be improved?
That is what we just discussed. That first you have to make it a point that you do a reading exercise every day. That is the most important thing that you need to do. And you cannot skip this. You cannot skip this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So reading exercise you have to do. Secondly, you make them mark the words that they find new or difficult. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
First is that reading. Second is they mark the words. And third thing is then you will come to the class, tell the child that you will share your words, what you find difficult or new. And let's check whether your friends also find those words difficult or new. And then it goes into the word wall. Can somebody is unmuted? If you can please mute your mics, it will be very good for the team. Thank you so much. So this is it. You got it, Rajesh sir, is it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I got it. Yes.
Yeah. So process देखो. First comes the reading. Every day you have to read. Second is your marking of the new words or difficult words. Third
Yes,
thing
ma'am.
is that you bring it to the table. Everybody discusses what they find new or difficult, and then it goes to the word wall, and everybody gets to repeat it.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then comes your this sound thing, no? That when you're speaking a word, the phonics part. So when you're speaking a word, you're giving a dictation. Every day,
Yes,
make it a point that you give at least 5 words for dictation from your
Yes,
own subject. Okay. So you are a math teacher or a science teacher or English teacher?
Yes, English teacher, ma'am.
English teacher. So you
Yes,
can pick up any word or you can tell them to bring new words.
Yes, ma'am.
So these
Okay.
are all the strategies you can do to, build vocabulary, because as हो सकता है तो in the first instance they don't understand the meaning of it, but
Yes.
it will be there in their mind. Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. So we were on 4 to 8.
This one?
Next one, please. Next one, please, ma'am. Yes. Thank you so much. So then we come to thematic vocabulary. What is thematic vocabulary? Thematic vocabulary. What is it?
Words which is related to the topic.
Yes, completely. So words which are related to the topic, they are not general words. For example, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is not a general word. It will happen only with plants when you're studying about plants. Transpiration. Then give me some other word which is thematic, which you will not find generally. Come on, chat box.
Transpiration, condensation.
Condensation, transpiration.
Respiration.
Yes, very good. So these are all the words that you will find in particular lessons. So how do you help them retain? Thematic vocabulary is the solution. So you will make them list these words in the word wall they go, right? For example, you tell them you're an English teacher, but you want them to, you're doing a vocabulary building exercise, but you tell them that, okay, I want you to look for words starting with uh, letter T. I'm sorry, letter T, and from your science books or from your math book. So what is happening here? That they will take a look at every book and interdisciplinary learning is happening. Isn't it? Thumbs up.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are the thumbs up?
Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs
Ah,
up.
okay. Then we come to support comprehension in content area reading. Support comprehension in content area reading means, जो हमने अभी पहले discuss करा था, that you read a paragraph. You read a paragraph, frame certain questions and ask them. So then and there you say a lesson is a 10-page long lesson. So if you begin at the first page, and by the end of the lesson, if you go back to something which was there in the first page, do you think it is going to help? It is not, because you don't have that kind of time. You're always running after time as teachers. बोलते हैं ना हम, time नहीं है, we don't have enough time. So why are we wasting our time? So whenever you're doing one important part of the lesson, why not ask questions then and there and assess the children? You can create a small worksheet, just 2-3 questions written on that. Give them as home assignment, that you will come prepared with these questions tomorrow. Read this part of the lesson, come prepared with these questions. So do you think it is going to help? And it is going to save you time.
Yes,
Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. We will
Right.
develop their critical thinking.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Critical
one more
thinking,
thing.
yes.
Ma'am, one more thing.
Yeah.
Like when we are doing a certain chapter, we can also give them few, like we stop after doing 2-3 pages, we can give them few Google questions also in the form of Google Forms, just to check whether they have understood or not.
Yeah, yes. So you can, for example, a very long lesson, it's divided into subheadings, right? So you prepare 2 questions, a kind of quick recall kind of a thing, 2 headings you pick up and form 3 questions only. But you have to remember that the blooms also, that maybe one question is there which will help them, think out of the box, right? So not everywhere blooms is going to be useful, or it is not necessary. But yes, in some part of it where they are actually supposed to analyze, critical thinking is supposed to happen. So then you can give a hot question. So what is going to happen is, by the time you reach the end of the lesson exercises, they will be able to do it themselves. So it is going to save you time, because they are already aware of that information. They know that information. right? So this is the classroom strategies for grade 4 to 8. Next, please, ma'am. Okay. So now we are going to do a quick activity. I am not going to do anything. A lot of people are here. So one person is going to give the words and the second person is going to do this activity. Alkaline box. Okay, ready? Good luck. I am zipping my mouth. You're responsible now. Okay, so come on. Who's going to take the lead? I need 2 volunteers. 2 volunteers only.
Mat. Word mat.
No, I first go step by step. Indrajit.
Acha ji, okay.
I need 2 volunteers. One is you and the other person. Other person, come on. There are so many people. Oh my God. Come on. Come on, come on. Yes. Chumki. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now there are 2 participants here, Indrajit and Chumki. So one is going to say the word and the other person is going to do the alkaline box.
One, the word is Hanji. Word is mat.
So I'm going to give the phonetics, right, ma'am?
You will need to, you will tell me how many counters you will pick.
3.
How?
Atta. Oh.
Is it mat or mat?
Mat. One counter, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. Great going. Very good. Okay. Next 2 volunteers. अच्छा ठीक है मुझे लग रहा है कि I will have to choose.
Ma'am, hot.
Huh?
Hot.
First, I need to know your name, please.
Geeta.
Okay. And who's your partner? Choose a partner. Geeta, choose a partner.
Okay, ma'am. Gayatri, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So Geeta, give a word.
Hot, ma'am. Hot.
Hot.
Yes.
Okay. How many tokens? Gayatri ma'am, how many tokens?
She's mute. Yes.
Geeta, your
Yes,
partner is vanished.
Yes. Like Pooja Sharma, ma'am. Are you there? Pooja Sharma, ma'am.
Yeah, please help Geeta out.
Yes, ma'am, I'm
Pooja.
there.
Her partner has vanished.
Word is hot, ma'am. Pooja, ma'am. My word is hot.
Okay.
Hello.
Quickly, come on.
3 counters I will pick, and there will be hot.
How many tokens?
3 tokens.
3 tokens. Geeta, is she right?
Yes, ma'am. She is right.
Hurt.
It was hot.
H-U-T?
H-O-T.
H-O-T.
Hot. Okay, hot.
Yes.
Okay, hot. All right. H-O-T. Okay, fine. Very good. Now I want 2 more volunteers. Quickly, we'll do it and then we'll move on to the next activity. 2 volunteers again. Harmeet?
Ma'am,
Are you ready? And Anita. Okay, right. So I have 2 volunteers, Harmeet and Anita. Who's going to speak the word?
Pen.
What is the word, ma'am?
Pen.
Okay.
Give a bigger word. Give a bigger word.
I will give the word that is nest.
Match.
Nest.
Net.
Nest.
Can you spell it out?
N-E-S-T.
Nest.
Nest.
Okay. Nest.
Nest.
Okay. Nest. The word is nest.
3 parts. Nest.
Nest.
Nest. N-E-S-T.
How many syllables? Who can
What?
answer this?
What?
मैम
One
फोर
syllable.
फोर है मैम इस पे
न एस्ट
You have to
N
make the word syllable
चार है
sound
मैम
right.
चार आ रहे हैं
Syllables. Just sound
न
every year.
न
Four syllables.
No.
4 syllables.
One.
Four,
One.
four.
फोर है
Ne is one.
St.
Ne is
Blend
one.
letters.
मैम चार आएगा ना मैम न
3.
No.
I think it is 3.
As
I may be wrong.
four.
Ma'am is asking syllable.
Syllables. क्या sounds है ना? आप sounds count करो. कितने
Hmm.
sounds आपको सुनाई दे रहे हैं?
मैम
Nest.
चार आएगा ना मैम
Ma'am,
only three syllables.
थ्री मैम थ्री
Yes.
थ्री
3 syllables, right? Because you
हाँ
can hear 3 sounds. N-E is together. Nest.
न
Ma'am, it's one
न
only.
न
Okay.
थ्री
Right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. Excellent. Are you enjoying?
यस मैम
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? मजा आ रहा है ना? Okay. All right. Okay. I think there is some problem with Twinkle Ma'am's net. So let me just see if I can pick up the next activity so that we can at least do the activity. All right. Okay. So my question here is that which of the 5 pillars do you think is the most important?
Whole
Which
are
of the
more
5 pillars? And you have to explain why.
first one is
Phonics.
First one.
yes ma'am
Awareness.
foundation
First one is phonemic awareness.
yes
You think that's very important, the most
yes
important in fact.
yes yes
Why? What
uh,
about the others?
all are important but foundation but जब तक aware ही नहीं होगा phonics से
This
तो
is the
आप
basic step, I think that's
yes
why.
And what
It is
does
important.
Ma'am,
yeah,
we come to know what letter is written and what sound is to be spoken. This knowledge we get.
so phonemic awareness tells you what?
Yes, ma'am. It gives us knowledge of sound, how to speak,
To hear, identify,
how
and
to pronounce the
manipulate
word.
the individual sound.
Phonemic awareness. Then what is phonics?
मैम रिलेशन
first one is the letter
of letter
awareness
sounds
about the letter
and
recognize
sounds.
of recognition of the letters second step is sound of the letter
Right. Letters and sound.
So according to me, I think the second is more important. Don't you think so?
Yes, ma'am.
Second one?
Yes, ma'am,
What is
because
more important?
phonics is the relationship between letter and sound, letters and
Yes.
sound. So it is more
Correct.
important.
So you remember that GPC, grapheme?
Phoneme
Grapheme is the
and
letter, right?
correspondence.
Or the combination of letters. P is the
Corres-
phoneme and C is the comprehension.
correspondence.
So correspondence, yes. So grapheme and phoneme together form the word. So do you think that the second is more important? That is why we don't talk about phonemes, we talk about phonics. Isn't it? We always
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
Chunki, you want to say something?
Ma'am, when we can deal with phonics, then why we are concentrating on phonemes? I'm just confused with.
Phonemes is the it is the recognition of the letter. Okay, for example, C-A-T. So it's the word C-A-T. But how do we pronounce it? What is the sound? Then comes the it is Yeah, it is. We are giving the sound also there, but then the thing is that it is not completely happening there because in the next step we are talking about grapheme and phoneme. So we are not focusing on the phoneme part. We are focusing on phonics because it is the combination of the letter and the sound.
So technically, the
It is
more important, most
it
important.
is phonemic awareness. It is phonemic awareness. How phonics work.
Understood.
That is the awareness we are talking about. We are not talking about the concept of phoneme. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
So we are not talking about the concept of phoneme. We are talking about phonemic awareness. And next step we are talking about graphemes and phonemes. They together make phonics. And that is why we focus on phonics. Understood, everyone? Any doubt?
No.
Yeah, okay. Right? So this already is done. We'll move next. We've extended 3 minutes. Okay. So my question was, which of the 5 pillars do you think that you should emphasize the most? Which needs more attention in your class? In your class?
Vocabulary.
Vocabulary. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else who wants comprehension? Okay. What else? Quickly, come on. We have to wrap up the session also. Come on, quickly. We are teachers, right? We know our class. Yes. Reading and vocabulary. Okay. Sound knowledge. Vocabulary. Okay.
When they read poems, ma'am.
Yes, I'm sorry.
When students read poems.
Yeah,
then
okay.
also. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, we are talking about these 5 pillars. First is phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Out of these, which do you feel are a need in your class, which you need to build up?
Reading,
Okay.
vocabulary, and comprehension.
So most of us feel that vocabulary is very important because if you don't have words, you cannot speak and you cannot read. Right?
Fluency also, ma'am.
Yeah, yes. And Anita ma'am is writing phonics also. Yes.
Ma'am, recall the lesson, whatever we had taught.
I'm sorry?
Ma'am, recall the lesson, whatever we had
Recall
taught.
the lesson. Okay, yes.
She means recapitulation.
Recapitulation. Yeah, but those are not, we are talking about the 5 pillars of reading right now.
Ma'am, for a higher class, I think comprehension is very important.
Very important. Comprehension is important. Vocabulary is very important because if they don't know the meaning of the words, then
Yes.
how will they use it or how will they understand? How will they comprehend? Okay. Ma'am, can we please go to the next slide? Okay. So this is your exit ticket. You have to answer this question. Otherwise, nobody is going home today. So one new thing you learned. जितनी जल्दी आप आंसर करोगे उतनी जल्दी हम घर जाएंगे.
About phonemics, ma'am.
We will not answer because we want to be with you.
Thank you so much. I
About,
love you for that. I
ma'am,
love you.
about
I love you.
Ma'am,
Thank you
about
so much.
phonemics.
Okay.
About phonemics.
Phonemes. Okay.
Phonemes,
Phone.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Phonemic awareness. Very good. Difference between phonics and phonemic awareness. Very good. Excellent. These are the most confusing topics. Everybody goes bonkers about this. Okay. GPC. Very good. Daily practice of words. But let me tell you, my dear friends, that if you don't practice whatever has been discussed here, out of sight, out of mind nahi hona chahiye. Okay. If you really want that to bring about a change in your classroom, you have to practice this. Okay. 5 words dictation every day. Very good. I used to make my teachers do it, and it worked wonders. Classroom activities, consistency in learning. My God, Twinkle ma'am, they've learned so much. मैंने उनको एक बोला था, इतने सारे आ गए मेरे पास. Very good. So now we are towards the end, and this is the thought that I would like to leave you with. Reading is the gateway skill that makes all other learning possible, according to Barack Obama. Do you agree? I agree. Okay, without reading, nothing is going to happen. So thank you so much for joining the session, and thank you again, Twinkle ma'am, for such a lovely audience that you've given me. They said they love me, so I love them back. Thank you so much.
And the interaction they have with you showed this thing. They loved you a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your such an interactive and descriptive webinar. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.